Welcome back to the preview show. I'm Casey Campbell. That's Matt Tiff. He's a team owner. And he's also sunburned. Of course, Matt Tiff, the co-owner of Team Live Fast, joining me this week. Biel is joining me on the SRX preview show this week. Hi, Matt.
Hey, how you doing? That's cool. You guys got an SRX one too. That was that's pretty cool to see. I mean, I it's obviously a pretty different deal, but how about Alan Bestwick hearing his voice again? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, got a chance to talk to AB a few weeks ago. Good dude, and
I watched that show.
Yeah, Matt Yoakum is. We talked to him this week. Someone must have subscribed to my YouTube channel. Yay!
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's a cool deal because I think no matter what in how we adapt things, how we change things over time, one thing I've really noticed probably the last 2 years is racing has become less of dirt against NASCAR, even though that's there a little bit, but we're fixing that with, some of the NASCAR more integration back into grassroots. But then, Indy and NASCAR and Formula One and NASCAR, then you look at SRX and what that is. I think there's a lot more integrations of fandom that we haven't seen in a while because it used to be, them pinned against each other. But now I think that it's, if you're a race fan, you're a race fan. And so I think to come out with a series like Tony Stewart and Ray Everham did was really cool. So it obviously piques my interest. When you look at the NFL, you look at the NBA, they've obviously had competitor leagues in very similar fashions to what they've had. And every time that's happened, something good has been adopted or has come out of something like that. So I think that's going to be a very cool thing. And it's obviously steered a lot like IROC. So it's fun to see guys like Paul Tracy burn the crap out of his tires and go like hell for a few minutes and struggle the whole rest of the night. So I think there's a lot of big learning curves in there too that they weren't quite expecting.
Yeah, it's Paul Tracy. I feel like Paul Tracy, we all talk. We were at Detroit talking to a few people, and we all agreed that Paul Tracy is going to wreck somebody.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Totally agree with that.
Yeah, big time. So what else has surprised you about this series? And we'll get into the NASCAR stuff, but we kind of start with SRX. How fun is it to watch like guys like Tony Stewart, Michael Waltrip, Bobby Labonte, Bill Elliott, Elio, and Haley Deegan will be in there this week, and got Scott Bloomquist, he's in there. Got Brian Brown. We got some fun people racing.
Yeah, they really do. I think it's cool because, again, I'm a racing fan, and so I think it's cool to come see them all have one discipline that they're doing here in a certain kind of car. Obviously, when you look at a track like Stafford, the people who have a lot of laps around there, as Doug Coby did, end up winning the race. So it's cool to me to see someone like him who, in normal circumstances, maybe not have the shot to go race against those guys, but SRX gives that opportunity. And I think that's something that's so cool because we've seen the Gordon and Montoya crossovers and things like that over time bring so much like, wow, this is cool. But I really do think this brings back the enjoyment of IROC and seeing who could be the best driver. Now, what's interesting too is obviously we're doing asphalt cars. They're stock cars or whatever these things are, but they're based off of stock cars to go onto dirt, to go to short tracks and stuff like that. I'm interested to see when they do a new TV deal and they do this again, because I think it's a big enough hit that they'll end up continuing this. In my opinion, I don't know facts here, but I'm just speculating. I think it'd be cool to see them do some road courses, maybe like a VIR, or go to, maybe go to Laguna Seca or something like that. Places NASCAR doesn't go, because in a way, it's a good middle ground for guys who are in IndyCar. They're in Formula One, or they're in sports car racing, like was it Willie T in the race there. So I think it'd be cool to play to everybody's strengths and then have them all kind of have a fair shot over the course of the schedule, with I think would be something I could see coming if they get a bigger TV contract with it.
Right. Yeah, it should be interesting to watch. Okay, so we're going into Nashville Super Speedway this weekend. Going to be the first time since forever, since we've all been there. And I forgot, you ever raced there?
I've raced at the fairgrounds. My dad has more laps than me at the super speedway, which I don't remember ever talked about him racing, but he actually did a Jeff Gordon driving school back in, I guess it was 2006. And so he did that out there. And I got to ride shotgun in one of the cars. And that was my first time in a NASCAR. I was 10 years old. And so that's actually the racetrack where I knew I wanted to be a race car driver. So I've not been back there since, but I'm pretty excited to go there. Tomorrow we fly out.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome to see that. And we always talk about Nashville is turned into this hubbub city where everybody wants to go to. The connection between NASCAR and country music is something to be there. I know the last time we talked, I know we went into the fairgrounds a little bit. Nashville Super Speedway is where we're going this week. I know there's been a big push to get the fairgrounds back. I know IndyCar is going to be on the streets in Nashville later this year. God, I hope to be down there for that. But how exciting is it to see that NASCAR and the city of Nashville, and just really any sport, MLS is going to be down there as well.
Yeah. No, it's a very cool city. Obviously, bachelorette party capital of the world there. We were there a couple of weeks ago with my wife, and it's nuts. I mean, it's absolutely packed to the wall everywhere you go. It's a very cool city. But I think this is a model when you look at what Nashville, what they're doing, what NASCAR is doing with iRacing in Chicago. I think the interest is there, which is what I enjoy right now of what we're trying to do, to go to new markets. And Nashville, maybe not a brand new market, but for the Cup Series, it's certainly the first time we bring it there. So I really applaud them for trying to do those things. But at the same time, the Speedway has been around a long time. We say, it's going to Nashville, doing this. You got to remember, this track has been here for a long time. In Nashville, the fairgrounds has a very, very rich history with the fairgrounds there and the All-American 400. So it's weird because we're saying, wow, we're going to Nashville, we're doing all this. It's like, well, NASCAR has been to Nashville a lot in the past. We just haven't been there in a while. So I'm excited to see it back at the Super Speedway. I'm gonna be very interested to see how the races play out this weekend, because nobody truly knows. We know the surface is a lot like Dover. We know it's kind of a single groove track. So how will these cars and this aero package work, I think, is a big question mark. But this is a track that a lot of people forget. Through the 2000s and even in the 2010s, before testing was banned, a lot of guys went and tested Nashville. And so it's not like it's been a forgotten track whatsoever. It just hasn't had a big series race on it in a while.
Yeah. NASCAR should bring back testing.
I don't. I do and I don't. So when I was in Xfinity, I really enjoyed the rookie testing, because it's very hard to make up for trying to bridge that gap. Well, now you have rookies coming in with very little practice or no practice and trying to catch up. The biggest thing is, honestly, now the TRD, the GM, the Pratt & Miller, and the Ford Performance simulators are so good, it acts as testing. The problem right now is the budgets have been cut to where, to go testing, you'd have to have so much more money to go do it. And we have next gen testing, and we got to figure out how to budget for that, and we're going to those. But you have to figure out, okay, how much do we need to do this? And to be honest, in the days of heavy testing, when you had 2 or 3 test drivers for the teams, they constantly test on the road, you had a test team. And so the ingenuity and the engineering and the cool fab stuff that came out of this was very, very neat. But to align with the goals of what NASCAR is trying to do with the new next-gen car and that limited to no wind tunnel testing and everything there, I don't think it's a smart idea, because then you're giving unfair advantages in there. And I think this whole deal is to be closing the field, of creating parity, of not having too much R&D time, not having too much of this or that, and it goes back into the driver's hands. I think testing for rookies would be a cool thing. But it's going to be interesting, because we don't know how, when you come up the ladder now, going into the Xfinity, like truck Xfinity Cup, we don't know how much that relates anymore, and we won't know until next year.
Right. So yeah, I mean, interesting things, with the ladder going to be maybe settled out in the next few years, but
Yeah.
kind of really going into that. So you talk about new teams. You are a new team. There was just announced the big news today. GMS announced that they're intending to go cup racing in 2022. It didn't say specifically whether or not it was going to be on a limited basis or a full-time basis, and no drivers were announced yet. But obviously, we'll learn more as the season goes on.
Yep.
But you were in this position last year when you announced that you were going to go cup racing. You and BJ McLeod were going to take basically what was Go Fast, taking over the share that Archie had. So kind of talk about with these new teams coming in. I know that the reason why, of course, the next gen car was attractive to that. It's looked like GMS is going to have a big learning curve, because I know they wanted to do this, but they couldn't.
Well, GMS is obviously going to have pretty strong Chevy ties.
Yeah.
As long as they stay in line of what they're doing already, which I assume, they're doing. I don't know why they would stray away unless they've struck a good deal with something else. But the difference, I think, now is, again, off of my last point of parity, you have these teams coming and saying, hey, I can have the same car and line up with that guy. And if I get some technical guidance for setups and things like that, I can go compete. And so with a guy, with Marie Gallagher behind the program, we know how involved he's been across the sport, between Spencer, between Victory Air, between GMS Racing. The guys everywhere in the sport, whether people realize it or not. And so I'm not shocked at all, because I think there's a model to be found. Even for open teams, they're going to be trying to do this. But if you're going to do it with an open program, you got to find sponsorship. But they're a powerhouse team. They're a team that has a lot of resources, a lot of great people work there, and a lot of people have come out of that organization. So I think it's exciting. Again, we go back to us coming into the sport, what we're trying to grow and mold into. You look at them, 2311, possibly expanding there. There's so much excitement, colleague coming in. There's so many things that are going on in the sport that are so exciting. That again, it just goes back to this is the first time in a while that there's been a buzz of getting a cup team. 5 years ago, it'd be like, let's start a cup team, run a few races. But now it's like, okay, we need to get in the door. We need to do a cup team. How can we get a charter? And so that's I think really raising the value of the charter system. It's also raising the value of, even for us, the amount of competition, the level of competition we have to step up to keep on working with how these guys are going to be running and the dollars they put into their teams. And like we've said from the beginning, our goal is next gen and moving forward. We got through this year and we got things going, but our goal was to make it into next gen and see where we go from there. And that's the exciting part about this whole deal. And I think industry wide, I think we're seeing that same opportunity come across.
Yeah, of course. All right, time to make some picks. But and first off, before we do that, any updates from your team on what's all going on at Team Live Fast?
Yeah. So one really cool thing we're doing right now for Pocono for both races is we're partnered up with the American Brain Tumor Association. Obviously, something that's near and dear to my heart. And my own personal experience losing my grandmother, but then also fighting through it myself. So the American Brain Tumor Association has been a partner of mine for a while. I've done a lot of stuff with them over the years, but pretty cool thing with them right now is you can go onto my Twitter or Team Live Fast Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, and there's a link there. So if you click the link for $50, you can get your name onto the race car, and large proceeds of that goes to the American Brain Tumor Association. Then on the backside of that, the Tiff Family Foundation will be donating and matching every donation made on there. It's up to $10,000. So we're doing a lot with that. For $100, you get a Team Live Fast hat, as well as a picture of your name on the side of the car. And for $1,000, we're actually given the opportunity to come join us on the box at Pocono, or if you can't make it there, and maybe a different race in 2021. But some pretty cool stuff going on around with it. But one of the biggest things for me is brain tumors for treatments and research. The dollars are not quite there, and the attention still isn't there to this day. So trying to use this platform with our team to bring awareness, to create some funds for research, and it's really special to work with them on this project.
Of course, good stuff that you guys are doing there. All right, trucks are going to be racing on Friday. Who you got for that one?
Is Kyle racing?
No, Kyle is not racing.
Okay, I got name a check then.
Okay, we'll do that. I'll take John Hunter as well.
Okay.
Xfinity, I'll go first. Yes, Kyle Busch is racing, and yes, I'm taking him.
I'm taking him, and I'm taking a smash guitar.
Oh yeah, I forgot he smashed the guitar in 2009.
Yep.
All right, for Cup, we're not having you pick because you own a Cup team. Well,
I can pick a winner still. We have different goals for winning with us right now. So okay. I'm going to hope we win. Sure, I'll hope we win, but we can still pick a winner in there. And I'm going to go with the boldest pick in the world. I'm going to say Kyle Larson.
Well, you must have gone on my Twitter and read my picks because that's.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm taking him. It's just we're in a trend right now where it's just a driver is, whether it's John Hunter Nemechek in trucks, Kyle Busch everywhere. Whenever he gets in Xfinity in trucks, we've seen a lot of parity in Xfinity. Kyle Larson in the Cup Series, Ty Gibbs in ARCA. It's just we're seeing a lot of drivers in.
Well, especially this part of the season when you go to new tracks and you have a hot driver when they're on the street and just working chemistry wise, then you have a weekend with practice. I really think, honestly, my top 3 picks would be Larson, Elliott, or Kyle for Sunday. Yeah. And the reason I say that is because practice is back this weekend. Kyle Busch is one of the best at Nashville historically. So obviously Chase Elliott is pretty good at Dover. You can put Truex in the same category. So I think it's going to be a lot of big heavy hitters competing on Sunday.
Of course, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they all work, because practice back in Nashville, then we got Road America, there's practice at the Indy Road Course, then we don't have practice until the championship race at Phoenix. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that all works. But anyway, that's the preview. Sure, yeah. That's the preview show. I'm Casey Campbell. That's some Matt Tift. He's an Indians fan, so there you go. That's how he got the sunburn. He went to the Indians game. So that's.
I did. Yeah. Go put your name on my car. Go do it.
Okay. Yeah. Go do that. Go support brain tumors. Why don't you? It's good call.
No, we're not. We're supporting brain tumor research, not brain tumors.
Brain tumor research. Yeah. Gosh.
You're close. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long day. All right. Good to see you as always, buddy.
You too, bud.